Okay, Jerry, just on our last interview, you talked about OSHA. Do you have an opinion of OSHA? What do you think of OSHA?
Well,
Would have it saved your fingers if they would have had a box over the gears? And
probably because that way I wouldn't have got a hold of the gears, no way to get to it. And at one time, OSHA was a good thing for, especially back east where it originally started, because the people were taking advantage of all the workers, making them work 12 hours and in very bad climate and so on and so forth. And then when I worked at the company, part of the company was in the union, and part of us wasn't, and they was always trying to get us to go, and we wouldn't go. Well, the funny part of that was that they gave us, by not going to the union, they gave us $1 an hour raise more than the rest of them. And if you wanted $1 an hour raise, you had to quit the union.
wow.
And to this day now, that company that I retired out of does not have a union.
Huh. And OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Act.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was to protect those workers. It really starting out in the early 1900s.
Yeah, and the 20 and 20, up to
20,
30, I
right.
suppose, somewhere in there. I don't
Even
know.
the 40s and 50s in some areas,
Right.
coal mines and
Right.
but some of the factory jobs, there was thousands of Americans that were dying every day from
Right.
accidents. So
Well, they had that black lung disease
Right,
that struck real hard back east years ago. And that was because they didn't have the right equipment. But when they got the owners, or whatever you want to call them, of these factories and stuff, to protect their workers,
right.
then it all turned around.
So overall, it was probably a really good thing. But on the other hand, sometimes it can go too far where it
Yes.
gets into little petty things that isn't
Right,
even necessary.
and then they brought up, well, I think a lot of it was somebody had to keep their job, so they had to keep coming up with
Right,
stuff too that you needed to do, and safety glasses was a good deal.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're talking where I worked. You're talking we were all men.
Uh-huh.
You know, they were 18 or better.
Yeah.
So here's your rules that you live by, and that's what you had to do. So
Now, what was that company? What did they do?
the bentonite company,
Oh, okay.
where they mined bentonite, and it was used for, originally started out for oil well drilling, and
Now it's used in cosmetics,
cosmetics and
cat litter, many
cat litter.
things.
Now, when the oil quit, slowed down, and then they had to find use for it, they went to the cat litter, and it just blossomed.
Did you work in the mine then in Wyoming, or was there one in South Dakota too?
One in South Dakota is where I started,
Okay.
but I did work in Lovell, Wyoming, and Grable, Wyoming, and
Well, where was the one in South Dakota?
right there in Belfouche.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, well, there had one in Belfouche, and then Colony, Wyoming, which was 20 miles west of Bell. They had two plants.
Because Bell's kind of right on the border,
Right.
10, 15 miles from Wyoming.
Right.
Which
yeah.
in Wyoming, South Dakota miles is
Right.
a
Yeah.
short trip.
Right.
It's not like driving in a city there.
So the company I had owned 3 plants there, the one in Bell, and they owned 2 in Colony, and 1 in Grable, and 1 in Lovell, Wyoming.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you again.
Okay.